AI is not going to replace your jobs. I know this is not what the headlines say or what LinkedIn says, but I've worked into over 100 different companies to help them digitalize themselves. And I've seen it time and time again that think that kids' jobs, it's actually not technology, it's that the job was never really real to begin with. So let me explain. So every week there's a new headline. SAP restructures 10,000 roles to shift to AI. Salesforce cuts 5,000 people, and their CEO, they goes on record and it says it's because of AI. The investors, of course, they are really happy and they say, oh, in AI, it's always a bullish signal. It's a sign to invest. It's a good thing. And McKinsey, for instance, they cut down 25% of their workforce. This is the company that actually tells other companies how they should work, how they should organize themselves. And then you have UPS. They fired 48,000 people. For me, this is a huge number. I think in Luxembourg, we maybe have 48,000 unemployed people. So this is crazy, crazy. And they say the reason is AI and it helps them with logistics and with planning routes. But nobody asked the follow-up question. What were these people actually doing? And I'm telling you this because I've seen this time and time again, because I'm actually the one who implements these types of software into companies. And the reason, it's always the same across all these different industries. So the headlines are lying to you, and I need to address this so that you understand a little bit further down the road what's actually happening out there. So these big software companies like Salesforce, HubSpot, and whatever they are called. So their entire business model, it's based on paying users. So they say in the industry, it's per seat. So you have a company, you have 10 users, you pay 10 people, 10 users. But now with the AI, it's actually the AI handling a huge chunk of their workload. So the investors actually, they are now speculating that because this company who are now where their business model is relying on users, well, the user base will go down, so their revenue will go down. It did not actually really happen. It's just that the investors, they speculate that this will happen, which is actually true. It will happen. So what do these companies do in return? So because their revenue will go down, well, they have to cut costs somewhere. But this is a simple accounting formula. You have less revenue, you have to cut costs somewhere. What we also forget is that these companies, anyway, they fire every year thousands of people. But now they can say it under the umbrella, oh, we fired because of AI. And now the investors, they are bullish. And the headlines, they are saying, SAP fired 10,000 people because of AI. And what do? You scroll on Reddit or on LinkedIn and you see this and you're like, oh, damn. And then you keep on scrolling. And it fits the algorithm. It's fear porn. So what is actually happening? These people that are being fired, these were mostly data entry. So people that did routine tasks that were very easy to automate with AI. You took data from one system, you copy pasted in another, or you were just correcting data. This is the type of task that's very easy for an AI agent or an AI bot to automate nowadays. So AI actually did not replace their expertise, it did not replace their judgment, or their decision making, it actually just replaced their manual labor. And this is a massive difference. And if you understand this difference, then there's no reason to panic for you. So all these people that got fired from these big companies, they had duct tape roads. Their job was just there because of a workaround. You have a system A over here and a system A over there, and they copy pasted from one, move data across, they maybe calculated something, they extracted data to create dashboards or Excel sheets or what have you. There are a million different possibilities. 8 hours a day, their job was it to just do this. And it got automated by AI or by other AI automation tools. And why do you have these duct tape roads? It's because the processes, the operation, it's already broken. So they had to create these roads to duct tape the processes again together so that the whole operation is working. They were never meant to be there in the first place, because a proper operation, a proper integration, automation, all the agents that you want, their whole purpose is that these jobs go away anyway. But AI made it very easy to make these jobs disappear. And it actually just cost a fraction of what it used to cost before. Now, before you think that I'm going to say now everyone is going to be replaced, let me give you this example. So I wanted to become a lawyer, and the lawyer is the very good example of this. So the lawyer in the beginning just had books, had to get them somewhere physically, take them, read them, and then write down the different laws to make up a case. Then later in the early 2000s, there were then dedicated search engines where you could actually digitalize these books and look them up. So the role or the job of the lawyer, it evolved, it got digitalized. And now the lawyer, he will have AI, so he can already do research and create his cases way, way quicker because he has these tools. The job of the lawyer, it will not disappear, it will evolve into something new, something different. So which jobs are going to replace? So let me illustrate this for you. So I created this little 2x2 matrix when I diagnose companies. And you can actually use that right now to diagnose yourself. So on the axis on the right, you have the process knowledge. How well do you understand your work? Why your work exists, not just how you do it, why? And on this other axis, you have the task complexity, the routine on one hand and complexity on the other hand. So we have the quadrant 1. It's low process knowledge and routine tasks. So AI replaces you tomorrow. Not next year, tomorrow. AI can already do today your job. You are already gone. Now in the quadrant 2, we have low process knowledge and complex tasks. So AI will probably replace you in the next 2 years. Or more likely what will happen if you are right now 10 people, well, tomorrow you will be just 5 people in your department. The headcount gets slashed. That's not get eliminated completely, it gets compressed. Now we have the quadrant 3. This is where it starts to get interesting. So we have high process knowledge and routine tasks. So you don't get replaced. You become the person who builds the AI, who builds the workflow. Because you understand actually the process, you know what should be automated, and you know where the waste is. You go from just doing the work to designing the work. And in my opinion, this sounds like a promotion and not really like a layoff. And then we have the quadrant 4. These are the CEO, CTO, CIO, COO, and so on. So we have the high process knowledge and the complex task. These people, they are untouchable because they have judgment, they have experience, they have the ability to walk into whatever situation and know how to handle themselves on their own. They cannot be automated because it's not a task that they have, it's an expertise that they have. In my opinion, this is actually what happens. So yesterday I was sitting with a client, it's an electrician. I know this client since, well, nearly 30 years. And personally, I know him. So we were sitting there and I joked a little bit around and I said, well, are you afraid that AI will take their job and your jobs? And they looked at each other and they said, well, no, because we are electricians, dumbass. And they were right. So, and then they said to me, well, do you use it? And I showed them, I said, yes, I use it a lot, and showed them basic stuff like with ChatGPT to use the microphone, to just talk into it, write me this email, do that. And also copy pasting different reports and have a resume of it and so on. Then we continued to talk about the software and about the processes and the projects for the future. And I asked them at some point, well, how do you do today your price propositions? How does it really work in the real world? So they explained to me, they get a plan from the architect. This is a rudimentary plan. And then they look, this is a bedroom, this is a living room, this is a kitchen, whatever. And then they decide in the bedroom, we put 2 sockets and a light switch. In the kitchen, we put this type of installation, and the bedroom, we put that already, tell the bedroom. And then they define it once, and then they give this sheet to the secretary who then sits there and enters everything manually in the system. And then I told them, well, this would be something perfect for AI. So what did we do? We went on the internet, we copied a little plan from a house, and we gave it to Claude, and we said to Claude, create us now a price proposition based on act like an electrician. And Claude gave us in a little under 2 minutes a whole detailed plan with all the different technically correct items that needed to be put in the different rooms. Everything was there. And then they looked at it and said, well, this is perfect. And they said, well, will you fire now your secretary? And then I said, well, no, of course not, because she also does other stuff. And then I said, well, yeah, of course. So will you now, what will actually happen? And the guy said, well, now she will be way quicker to do price propositions, so we can actually send out way, way, way more. We will get way more price propositions that are accepted, and we will have more work down the road. And I said, exactly. So what happens is the workload will fall. She will work up slowly, slowly, slowly with the AI. And then at some point she will be at 100% again. This is what happens. Usually, you have to be realistic. Most of us, we don't work for McKinsey. We don't work for SAP. We work in small, medium businesses. We don't do 100% routine tasks where we don't understand what we are doing. We do part of it. We do 10, 20, 30%. And it's this which will get taken away from us that we don't need to do anymore. I saw this already play out in another area with one client. We digitalized paper work orders. So the paper work orders, before, they had to manually be punched into the system. So they had actually 2 secretaries that were sitting there punching them manually. We digitalized this with an application. And during the process implementation, one of the secretaries, she was pregnant, and she came back at the end of the project, or when it was already running. And she just stayed a month or 2 and decided that she wanted to leave again and be a mother full-time, which is more than okay. And actually what the company did not rehire another person, because before they did 500 paper slips with 2 people. Well, now they actually did 500 with 1 person, and 6 months after the implementation, they did 700 of these with 1 person who still has time to go on smoke breaks. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, am I going to replace? If your job is 100% duct taped, then yes, there is a risk, a possibility that you will get replaced. If you're doing some patchwork and some wheel work, the probability is already a little bit lower. And if you are really smart, you're actually the one who kills all these duct tape jobs. AI is coming for the jobs that were never meant to be there. Every duct tape, every workaround, every manual labor that was never real to begin with. And the question that you have to ask yourself is not, will AI replace me, but do I understand my job well enough to be able to use AI to automate what I am doing? And the question that you need to ask yourself, it is not, will AI replace me, but do I understand my work, my operation well enough, or am I just a cog in the machine? I've actually never taken the time to look at it from the outside. Because the people that understand the machine, they don't get fired, they are getting promoted. So if this made you think a little bit different about how you stand, how AI will change your life, then consider following my channel, because I break down operations. This is my core business. I do this every single day. I helped develop an ERP. I did over 100 digitalization projects, ERP implementations with companies all across the board. And drop me a follow and you will learn a lot more.